Hi, this is The Simple Life, written by Todd A. Adair at Chandler Gilbert Community College for communication. This is the abstract. The greatest marriages are built on teamwork, a mutual respect, and a healthy dose of admiration, and a never-ending portion of love and grace. And that was written by Fawn Weaver, which I got offline. This is the intro. Today I'm going to teach you about the best grandmother in the world, and her siblings, as well as how she was brought up. At this point, I would like to elaborate on how Artie Wold, which is her name, was a housewife and had everything ready for when Sheldon, my grandfather, came home from work. And finally, I'm going to describe her offspring, her children, um, that eventually created my beautiful face. Once again, the greatest marriages are built upon teamwork, a mutual respect, and a healthy dose of admiration, as well as a never-ending portion of love and grace. Through thick and thin, my grandparents have continued to show their devotion to each other from having 5 children. My grandfather being out of work for a moment, and my grandma having to be kicking overdrive to provide for them all. Today I'm going to discuss Artie Wold, which is my grandma, and how she was brought up. Next, I'm going to focus on how she was a housewife and provided everything for when Sheldon came home from work. And finally, I'll describe my family and how they came about and created me. Body paragraph 1. Growing up, I've always been extremely interested in finding out who um, my family was, based upon heritage and background, where I came from. My grandmother my great grandmother Artis Ann Helgeson was born to Otis Arthur Helgeson and Charlotte Phyllis Rogers on August 23rd of 1936. Her parents were born in Germany and were brought up Lutheran. With the father being in the military, they moved around and ended up in Hawaii. They met through my grandfather's brother, Leon. Set them up on their first date, actually, and look at them now, still madly in love with each other through God's mercy and grace. Now that you've been blessed with the opportunity to get to know Artie's background, I will divulge some other family knowledge. My beautiful grandmother was born in Glenwood City, Wisconsin. After Sheldon After Sheldon and Artie got married, my grandmother would make sure that Sheldon's lunch was always nutritious. He had plenty of coffee to drink every morning, and this is a characteristic that I believe is dying in our culture today. My grandpa, he would get home from work, and the house would be clean, food would be on the table, kids would be taken care of, showered, homework done, and in bed. And also, the um, the snow that would accumulate, it wouldn't shovel itself. My grandma would be out there um, savagely taking on this monster all by herself. Also, through taking care of the needs of my grandfather, as well as her 5 kids that she brought into this world, even faced with the injury of her husband going out to work for a while. Artis then went back into the working force to ensure that the family is properly taken care of, comfortably with the food and necessities needed. One tradition of our family does is we bake and eat lutefisk and lefse, which are Norwegian sides, as well as a traditional fruit soup. One time, my grandfather and a group of his brothers, they were armed with more than enough tools to disassemble for the father's collar. They turned his car into a truck, which is crazy. One interesting fact about Sheldon is that on his arm, he's got a tattoo of a hula girl, and he got it because he was just deployed in Hawaii. My uncle also got the same one, but my mom says that he's got a boob job on his. After gathering all this information about my grandmother, I'm surprised at how little I actually knew about them. But they're the best anybody could ever ask for. It's very interesting to see how that she was brought up, small town living. The times and the people back then were different. Way more family oriented they were, but the characteristics and values that how you're supposed to act, how you're supposed to respect others, were instilled through them, and I'm very appreciative of the way that they brought me up. It's crazy to think that when I was only a couple months old, my grandmother was holding me in her arms, taking care of me, and helped save me from almost certain death. She noticed my body started turning purple and blue from lack of oxygen. Through the fast actions of her getting me medvac to the closest hospital, it turns out that I had a severe hernia. But luckily enough, I got to the hospital on time with only limited damage to my body, and I'm eternally grateful for everything she's done for me. Thank you for your time.